Welcome to this video on float ownership and its importance. In this video, we will understand what float means in project scheduling and how it impacts project performance, and why determining ownership of float is critical in delay analysis and extension of time claims. Okay, so let's start. So first, what is float? You can see float or total float is amount of time and activity can be delayed without affecting the overall project completion date. Okay, then float is a key concept in critical path scheduling. Then it helps project teams manage flexibility in timeline. Okay, float, also known as total float, represents the amount of time and activity can be delayed without delaying the project's overall completion date. So it is an important concept in critical path uh, method scheduling, as it shows the flexibility available in a project. For example, if an activity has 5 days of load, so it's mean we can delay it by 5 days without affecting the final handover date. Okay, so understanding float helps project teams plan resources better and observe minor delay without affecting the overall project timeline. So I hope this is clear. Here we have the types of float. So there are mainly three types of float we consider in scheduling. The first is the total float. So the you can say total float is the time and activity can be delayed without affecting the project completion date. Second, we have free float. You can say this is the time and activity can be delayed without affecting the next dependent activity, or you can say successor activity. Okay, so third we have project float. So the time between the planned completion date and the required completion date in the contract. So these float allow a planner to optimize project sequencing and manage non-critical activities effectively. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so here we have the wire float method. So determine schedule flexibility. Okay, so it helps to prioritize critical work versus non-critical activities, affect EOT entitlement and delay responsibility, impact the claims and dispute resolution if delays occur. So actually, in a scheduling, if you do a scheduling in Primavera P6 or in MS Project, or if you are using any tool of project management, so you will be able to see there will be the two type of activities, critical and non-critical. Okay, so here we have the float ownership, the float ownership debate. Here you can see ownership type, description, then impact. Contractor ownership, then description. Contractor created a schedule, owns the float, then impact. Contractor can use it to be observe delays. Then second, employer ownership. Then we have employer pays for time, then owns for float. Then employer can use it to adjust project changes. Next, we have project ownership, shared float. Float belongs to the project, not any party. Okay, so fair use by the both parties depending on need. So the ownership interpretation often depends on the you can say contract terms and the policies. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so next we have contractual treatment of float. Here you can see we have contract form, then float treatment. First we have FEDIC. FEDIC no explicit rule, generally shared float approach. Okay. So second we have JCT UK, typically favor shared float use. Then third we have NEC promotes cooperative approach product on float. Okay, so therefore it is very important for both parties to clarify float ownership during contract negotiation to prevent the disputes later. So next we have EOT and next we have float and EOT claims. So a float ownership directly affect the outcome of EOT claims. Here you can see first if contractor owns float, so EOT applies only when float is consumed. Okay. So if the contractor owns the float, the contractor can observe minor delays until float is consumed, and EOT applies afterward. Okay. Second, we have if the employer owns the float, the contractor cannot claim EOT until employer-related delays exceed available float. So third, we have here the if the float is shared, EOT entitlement depends on the impact and fairness. Okay. So if float is shared, so in EOT entitlement depends on the fairness principle and the actual project impact. Okay. So therefore, understanding and managing float ownership is essential for fair delay analysis and claim evaluation. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So here we have the managing float in practice. So to manage float effectively in real project, uh, you have to regularly update the schedule to monitor float change. Then use Primavera P6 or MS project to track float trend. Okay, so then we have avoid float manipulation, keep record transparent. Then last, we have document float usage to support EOT justification. So float should always be transparent and well documented to ensure fair claim assessment. So next we have key takeaways. So let's summarize the key points. Float represents schedule flexibility in product, and ownership defines which party controls the flexibility during delays. Then clear contract language about float prevents the disputes and misunderstandings. Clear. The last share or project on float usually supports collaboration and fairness in EOT and delay analysis. So, in conclusion, managing float responsibly ensures smooth product delivery and minimize disputes between the contractor and the employer. So, I hope everything is clear related to the float ownership and its importance. So, thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.